Hello, hello. It's Melanie Elsbeth here, and I am so excited to share with you some parts of my conversation that I recently had with Brooke Harmer. Brooke is the host of the Well Nourished Mama podcast, and she's a certified perinatal nutritionist and the mama of 3 who is very passionate about helping women nourish themselves, their body, their mind, and their soul through every stage of motherhood. I was recently guest at Brooke's podcast, and we talked about a lot of real talk about motherhood, career, and what it means to build meaningful work while raising our families, and what it means to really build an authentic and sustainable business. And I am so excited to share with you 2 parts of my conversation with her. Of course, please hop over to Brooke's podcast. I will put all the details in the show notes, and you can listen to the full interview there. And right here, right now, I will share with you a little part about the transformation of motherhood and redefining career success as a mom. And I will talk about what that means for someone like me, multi-passionate woman that loves creating new businesses, has a million ideas, and how motherhood changed my priorities and what I expect from life. How Mama What's Next was born from my very own transformation. And we're talking about what mothers go through when they go through these major life changes and how we can build meaningful. The second part I will share is about the work-life balance and how we integrate everything in our life, what it means to build a slow business and to build sustainably as a working mother. And I am very excited to be sharing this with you today. It's been a real pleasure talking with Brooke about motherhood, career, and how we can build meaningful work lives while raising our families. So enjoy this conversation, and I will catch up with you later. Let's listen in. Welcome to Mama What's Next, a podcast for all the amazing women navigating the wonderful challenges of exploring a new version of yourself after becoming a mom. I'm your host, Melly, and together with my incredible guests, I'm here to help you explore who you are now and help guide you to your true path, one that feels authentic and fulfilling at the same time. Motherhood changes everything, yes. It's beautiful, transformative, and sometimes it pulls us away from the woman we were. Together we dive into career change stories and how to live a life that truly reflects who we are without guilt and with the courage to embrace your journey. So get yourself a coffee, steal a moment for yourself, and let's explore this next chapter of your life. I am super happy that you're here. Welcome. That's a difficult question because I'm a multi-passionate woman, mom. I've always loved doing lots of different things, and now I build everything under one umbrella, which is Mama What's Next. And I'm probably a brand strategist and energy worker and career advisor rolled all into one. Because I've done all these jobs and I have all this experience, and I have a marketing background. I've worked in marketing for 20 years for amazing brands, and in a digital world as well, digital production. But I also loved working with people. So over the last 2-3 years, I've actually explored human resources and recruiting. And I helped women find jobs and explore their career path. And this is what Mama What's Next is essentially about. It's about exploring your what's next. And whatever that may look like. Might be a job, it might be like a little side hustle, it might be a new creative project. But I love exploring that with women, with mothers, because so much changes for us when we become a mom. You know, it's such a big life change, and our priorities change so much, and what we expect from life, what we want in life, and the meaning we're looking for. So yeah, that's how that was born, due to my own transformation that I lived through, I think. The second part I will share is about the work-life balance and how we integrate everything in our life. But I actually don't believe in work-life balance. So I think this is a very unrealistic expectation that society has kindly handed us, and we keep struggling to achieve it. But I will share so much more in this little clip just right now, right here. The word work-life balance, I don't think it exists. I think it's more of a mishmash that we have. And, you know, that some words society creates for us, and we're just expected to accept them, right? And I think work-life balance is another one of these, sorry to say, but ridiculous words that are putting unnecessary pressure on our shoulders, because we're trying to reach that. We're trying to reach that ridiculous goal, which is not attainable because it doesn't actually exist. It's not real. In my opinion, there is no balance. There's only a right juggling and mixing of things. And sometimes you have to compromise here. Sometimes you have to compromise there. And the more realistic we get with our expectations around life and raising children and having a career, and if you want to have a career, you know, you have to be realistic. You cannot be the whole day with your child. It's just the way it is. But you're going to be probably the most amazing example of a working mom, you know, also reaching for her own career goals and setting that example, especially, you know, when you're raising also daughters like I do. You know, I want her to look at me as an example and to go, hey, my mom, she's reaching for her dreams. She's not putting all that on the side burner for the next 10 years. So I think it always depends on the idea you have of yourself and who you want to be. And there's nothing wrong with staying at home as a mom for 10 years. Like, because I said that now, I think that's beautiful, you know. But at the same time, so work-life balance is, I mean, yeah, I said it all, I think.
I'm so glad you said that, because I don't like that word either. I think it's very misleading. A lot of times when I talk to moms and we talk about work-life balance, the image that comes to their mind is, you know, one of those old traditional, you know, scales that's hanging on a, you know, that's hanging on chains, and you have to like add a little pebble over here and then add a pebble over here until it's perfectly level on both sides. And to me, that's not what balance is. When I think of work-life balance, I think of trying to balance on one foot. If you try and balance on one leg, you can look steady to everyone else. You can look like you're standing still. But if you really pay attention, your foot is making micro adjustments in all these different ways to adjust how you're holding yourself up so that you don't fall over. Sometimes it's more on the outside of your foot. Sometimes it's in the front. Sometimes it's on the inside of your foot. And that to me is what work-life balance is about. It's realizing that if, you know, for me, I work from home and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So, you know, if I have a day that's really work heavy, if I have lots of meetings, I have lots of deadlines and lots of things that I'm working on, I will not be as present with my kids. And that's just how it's going to be. But there are other days where I am totally burnt out and I don't feel like working a ton. And so I close my laptop and I say my to-do list can start tomorrow. And I spend most of the time with the kids all day long. And that's fine too, because I'm realizing, yeah, we're trying to balance it right now, huh?
Yeah.
We're trying to do both and it's so tricky. But yeah, it's this idea that like being okay with not having an equal amount of time. I think that's where we get tripped up, is we think, okay, if I'm spending 8 hours at work, then I have to spend 8 hours full time with my kids, and that's balance, right? And then I have to do X number of hours for myself. That's not what balance is. I think balance is more the intention. When you're at work, you're working hard. And when you're with your kids, however long that is, you are with your kids. You're not distracted. You're not with your phone. You're not trying to answer emails. And when it's your time after the kids go to bed, it's your time. You're doing something for you. I think that's more what balance is about.
Yes, I agree with you. It's really about like skipping in and out of different parts of your life. And I think, like you said, like being a stay-at-home mom and working from home, I think it does give most women the greatest flexibility, to juggle all these different elements in our life, because you can be more autonomous in your decisions, when you want to take some time off or you take a longer break during the day, you say I'm taking the whole morning off. It just gives you more flexibility and allows for that. If you don't have an employer that, is flexible enough, which, it's an important conversation always to have these days, because I think companies need to change their thinking and start supporting women more and mothers in these roles. I think we have some work to do as a society, to support mums at work more, because essentially, like, we're the ones carrying everything, right? So,
I totally agree.
Thank you so much for listening today. And as I said, I will share all the details of Brooke's podcast below. It's called the Well Nourished Mama podcast, and I will put all the links there if you want to listen to the full interview. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and I will catch up with you soon. Bye.
Stop the battle within your soul. You know it's all in your head. Being sad doesn't make you smart. It seems your heart just needs a fresh start.